markets requires discipline, strategy, and finely honed skills. Traders are up against the best and brightest Wall Street has to offer. At TraderInsight.com, you can look over the shoulder of one of America's top traders. Join Dr. Adrian Manz and a cast of highly talented traders as they earn their living navigating the markets, one stock at a time, one trade at a time. TraderInsight.com. Strategy, discipline, results.
For TraderInsight.com, this is Adrian Manz, and this is Stocks and Sectors on the Radar for Thursday, December 4th, 2008. Well, just when you thought it was safe to call it a last swirl around the bowl, along comes the Fed and says, what? We are going to go ahead and try to drop mortgage rates into the 4s. Now, before you get too excited, you probably don't qualify for one of those 4.75% mortgages they're talking about, because all those of us who pay on time are going to be penalized for having done so. But in the meantime, it did manage to pull the Dow out of what looked like it was going to be another spiral. It does leave open the question of what happens in the days to come. We know what's happened in the past. We've had these moves down into the bottom of the Dow box here, as I call it, and then we get a nice pop-up on some kind of positive news, and the next thing you know, everything turns around and collapses again. So, again, I want to reiterate what I said last night. I'm sort of looking for what happens on Friday. If we go out strong on Friday and see a nice rally going into the weekend, then I'm a believer. We might just see a move to the top of the box and a pull to the upside. For the time being, however, the trend is still in, and of course the trend is lower to the downside. So we got a nice little bounce up today, nice retest of that trend line almost in this case. But for the session, the Dow managed to close at 8591.69. That's up 172.60 points on the day on total volume of 1.55 billion shares. So that's a little lower than it was yesterday. That's no surprise. Yesterday was a pretty big day volume-wise. Advancers and decliners, about 2 to 1. We had 2,088 advancers, 1,049 decliners. And once again, we had a bunch of indices that essentially looked identical. So here we have the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, which is retesting 20-period moving average support and resistance there. Looks like it's right on its trend line as well, although at least it's up out of that really steep descent that it had. We've also got the NASDAQ composite doing the same dance up and around the 20-period simple moving average. Now, across the other sectors, we saw pretty much the same thing today. Consumer, biotech, everybody benefited just about the way that we would have expected them to. For tomorrow's trading, oddly enough, what I'm going to be watching pretty carefully are the home builders. Now, Beazer is a company that most people have written off, but it does look like it's going to benefit from this as well. Now, each of these is pinned below its moving average and below the obvious trend line, so it's going to be tough to get any kind of upside action here. But my guess is that if the market starts selling off again, if the exuberance over what happened today goes away, then we're going to see Beazer, Centex, probably Horton, Lennar, Pulte, maybe even Meritage take a turn back to the downside. But in the short term, if we see some additional upside in the homies, I'm definitely going to be watching Pulte and Meritage here for a possible move up into what was their recent daily and weekly support and resistance. So in the case of Meritage, that could mean a move up into the up into about the $14 range, and in the case of Pulte, there is a possibility here of a move that pulls up and probably retests around $12.10. So not huge, but if there's upside, then I'm going to be definitely watching these guys. I'm also going to watch the banks and the brokers, as they could benefit from some additional liquidity as well. So that is Stocks and Sectors on the Radar for Thursday, and I hope you have a really great trading day.